Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome.
Hey guys, welcome back to Ask Snes. Here we go, episode 5. So absolutely glorious today. Sun's out, sky's blue, absolutely beautiful. Right, so we've got a few questions from last week to answer, so let's crack straight on. First question is from blobslime29. Now, I did actually see this question when the comments were first posted, and on a quick scan, I had absolutely no idea what the hell he was going on about. The question is, do you believe jelqing works? I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. I thought he'd misspelt it, I didn't know what it was, so I did a quick Google to find out what it was. Kind of regretted doing that. If you don't know, it's spelled Jelqing. Apparently some kind of male enhancement technique. Don't know why you're asking me that, mate, but fair enough. Do I believe it works? I've got absolutely no idea, because to be quite honest, it's not something that really matters to me. I've never had to look into those kind of techniques, I don't need to, so there you go. Right, next one. Next question is... Let's have a look. Where's the next one? Okay. Right, next set of questions are from Ben Norman. Hello, Ben. And first question. Okay, do you game much on your next-gen consoles? Not at the moment, no. There really isn't anything I can play on them at the moment. Financially, I haven't had the money to lay out the cash for them, because the games I want at the moment are like Wolfenstein New Order and possibly Watch Dogs. I'm a bit on the fence because I like the look of the game. It's my kind of game, but everybody is sort of like split. It seems like some people love it and a lot of people are not hate it. They're just not that keen. It's not as good as they expected it to be. So I'm going to wait for a price drop. I think most of the games now make the price drops on the next gen, because instead of the usual 40 quid, it seems that Amazon and the others want to charge like 45, 50. And I'm not paying that. I refuse to pay it, because within a month or two the price will drop anyway and they'll come down to 40, sometimes down to 35, so there's no point. Plus you can get deals on eBay as well. So quite frankly, with the next gen stuff, I'm quite happy to just give it a couple of months, let the price come down, then I'll pick up my games. I did start playing Rise again on the Xbox One the other night. I love that game, absolutely love it, it's brilliant. Really fun game, so yeah, that was really nice. Although the nearly 2 hours, well, in fact nearly 2.5 hour update and install was not very welcome at all. I was not impressed by that. I wanted a quick half an hour and I didn't get it. I had to spend most of my night updating the game, so yeah, a little bit pissed off with that. But still a great game. Question number 2. What is your favourite of the Donkey Kong games on the Super Nintendo? To be absolutely honest with you, mate, I've only played Donkey Kong Country. I haven't played number 2 and number 3, so I can only go by the first one, so that'll have to be my favourite. But I do intend to get 2 and 3. I really should have picked them up by now, I just haven't got round to it. I kept putting it off and the prices have gone up now, so that was a bit stupid. I should have got them when they were cheap. But the idea was to complete the first one, then buy the second and third, because I didn't want to keep dabbling between the 3. So I've only played the first one, so yeah, that's my favourite at the moment. But I do understand that 2 and 3 are better, and I think number 2 is supposed to be the best one of the 3. Alright, question number 3. Have you ever considered streaming the games that you play? He thinks it would be awesome. Cheers, Ben. I have actually given it consideration. I'm not entirely sure how you go about doing all of that, so I need to look into it. I have set a Twitch account up because obviously I have a PS4 now, so maybe in the future that's something I could look into doing. Yeah, I don't understand how the whole thing works. Like, I mean, I'm assuming if you've got the PlayStation camera that I can have a video feed there, and you can have the chat board, and then you can have the stream as well. That would be really cool. So if that's how it works, someone let me know the mechanics down below, because I can always get the Sony PS4 camera then in the future and use that. Because I've got the Xbox Connect already. So if you can, I don't know if you can Twitch stream on Xbox yet. I know they were going to do it, or they are doing it. I don't really know much about all this. So yeah, if you can give me some advice, yeah, I'd be well up for that. I've even considered doing one of these like Ask Snes sessions on a Google Hangout. The only problem is it's a bit difficult, because the only way I can do it is using the laptop that I've got, which is really, really old. And you may, if you've seen the Meet the YouTuber that I did with Daz Cajones de Loro, if you haven't, go and check out that on Daz's channel. Awesome video. The quality isn't that particularly brilliant with the sound, because my laptop is crap and it's really old, and the mic's a bit shit. So I could do getting like a cheap mic or something really, and maybe I could do it that way. But yeah, I thought that'd be quite interesting to do an Ask Snes live session. So we'll see what you guys think. If you're up for that, that'd be quite a good idea, I think. So there you go. So thank you very much, Ben. Nice one, thank you, mate. He's just thanking me for being one of his favourite YouTubers, and he hopes the channel continues to grow. Cheers. And he said his girlfriend's a fan as well, so hello to Ben's girlfriend. Excellent. Right, okay, so next one. Question from Tom, King Arthur. Hello, Tom. Tom asks, are you going to be showing off your Japanese Mega Drive collection and doing gameplays of games that I have in the future? I wasn't gonna, but to be quite honest, you and a couple of other people have asked now, so yeah, I might as well, I suppose. I'll put a little video together, just show what I've got, because I haven't got a lot. I've only got about 5 games. Is it 5? Yeah, 5 games in the machine. So, you know, nothing particularly amazing, all really standard stuff that everyone's seen before. But yeah, absolutely, if you want to see that, mate, I'll put a video together and do some gameplays, why not? I won't be particularly good at them, but I'll do my best. So thanks, Tom. Right, next questions are from PS1 fan. Hello. Talk to him on Twitter as well, top bloke. So first question is, so the big E3 this week, when you get round to reading this out, my thoughts. Well, I'm doing this on a Thursday, and there is one more live stream from Nintendo's Treehouse tonight at 5:30, which I'm going to be watching, because that has been absolutely fantastic all week. I've really enjoyed the Nintendo stream. Overall, I think E3's been fantastic. I always do, though. I'm not really hard to please with E3 because I get really excited, and it is like a mini Christmas for me, so I always really enjoy it. I mean, just to give you an idea, this week on Monday I watched the press conferences from Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, Sony, so I didn't get to bed till about 4:30. Tuesday I watched Nintendo's digital event followed by their Treehouse stream, and I was up to about 2:30. Last night on Wednesday, Nintendo had another stream from like 5:15 till about 2:30 in the morning. And then tonight they're doing another one. So Nintendo's going full on. It's absolutely brilliant. I love what they're doing. I may make a video about the Treehouse as well. More than likely you probably will see one of those actually, because 16-bit Brit was asking me to do that. So that's a possibility. Yeah, I've been really overall been very impressed. A little hindsight after Monday, when you look at what Microsoft and Sony have announced, there's some really great games that I want to play. Obviously Uncharted, you know, the Order 1886. What else was there? Sunset Overdrive, obviously, and you know, I'm interested in getting the Halo Master Chief collection as well. But after watching the Nintendo streams, it's hard to be impressed by what Sony and Microsoft showing, if I'm absolutely honest with you, because it is essentially just the same old stuff that they always trot out every year. And as much as I like that, and I love my good storylines, and you know, I like to get, like Last of Us, I like to get really involved and enjoy those characters and those stories. It's kind of like when you watch Nintendo and everyone's got a massive smile on their face. Even the press, you know, they go to a Nintendo event and they play their games and they're just so happy when you see their reactions on video. And that's what Nintendo brings different to everybody else. They just bring the joy and the fun. And okay, fair enough, people who work for Nintendo look a bit too happy, like they're on happy pills. But that ain't a bad thing. I think it's good because it just makes you feel really good inside. Nintendo's spreading the love and their games look fantastic. They will play fantastic, and they're just a lot of fun. So yeah, I've mostly been impressed by Nintendo this week. Absolutely excellent. But the actual event itself's been spot on. You know, there's been absolutely tons of coverage. We've had the press conferences. We've had, like, if you go on all the website, IGN, GameSpot, etc., there's just tons, like on YouTube as well. You've got all the videos, the interviews, the gameplay demos. Just, I watch all of it. I watch as much as I can. I just consume it, and I love it to bits. So yeah. It's been a bloody good week, and Nintendo's on again tonight, so it's just going to get better, I think. Next question. Am I getting The Last of Us on PS4? Right. At the moment, no, I'm not getting it. Possibly in the future when it's down in price to say 20 quid, 15, 20 quid, I might just get it just for the sake of it. Because I don't really, I think I said in one of my previous videos, I don't really see the point. If you haven't ever bought it and you've just got a PS4, then yeah, it's absolutely worth the purchase. But if you've already got it on PS3, all you're doing really, it's just this whole 1080p, 60 frames and all this other crap. I just get kind of sick of hearing it, and I don't really care about it. And so, yeah, it's going to look prettier. It's a reason to own it, but I'm not paying full price for it. So I won't say no, because in the future I probably will, but only if it's low priced. I do find it kind of objectionable, actually. Objectionable in terms of, like, Tomb Raider was the same. It come out at full price. I was like, yeah, you've thrown a bit of extra stuff in there which really isn't important, and you've jazzed up the graphics. It ain't worth full price. I think that's taking the piss myself. But anyway, next question. Have I ever cried when playing a game? Not yet, no. I have with films, because that's easy, not with games. Games like The Last of Us and Uncharted definitely make you come close to it, I find. They really do, and especially The Last of Us. Christ, it just gets you right there. That opening scene, Jesus, that is a hard thing to play through. That whole game, actually, I found, since I've completed it, I've had a lot more respect for the game. It really sits with you, and you start thinking about the story and what happened and the different characters. And I found I became more emotionally invested in The Last of Us after it had all finished, and time has passed over the last few months. It's really sat with me, and it's a really great game. Very heavy and very hard to play again. I don't know when I'll do a second playthrough, because I find it kind of difficult. Because when I play these games, I have to watch all the cutscenes again. I don't just skip them. It's not a case of I know what's going to happen. I just like, if I'm going to play the game, I want to play the game. I want to experience the whole thing again. I do with Uncharted. I play Uncharted games and I watch all the cutscenes. I'm going to play Uncharted 2 now about 5 times all the way through from beginning to end. And I've played multiple times doing different levels. And even if I just pick a random level like the pool, I'll still watch all the cutscenes as well. They're just so well done. That's the main thing. But yeah, no, I've not really cried out a game that I can think of. Okay, my bloody screen's gone off again. Right, okay. And yes, since no one's asked, are you getting Mario Kart 8? I think you know the answer to that. Yeah. Right, okay. Right, okay, so Sushi Sunshine, who I can't say properly, 2000, asks, do you think magazines have a future, in particular video game magazines? In America, Nintendo Power, one of the most popular magazines, was brought to an end, and in the UK, CBG magazine ended years ago, but was revived into a website. Magazines these days are quite pricey, and watching the game in action on YouTube can defeat the purpose of buying a games mag. Occasionally, the only games magazine I buy these days is Retro Gamer. That is a good question, mate. Yeah, it's a real shame actually, because I, like a lot of people in my generation, grew up using magazines as reference. It was the only way we could get the latest news in the industry, so they were a big deal, and they really, they hyped you up more as well, because obviously now with the internet, everything's there at a click of a button. Within seconds, every little bit of information about a new game, you even know the developer's name at this point. I mean, it's just so crazy these days. And there's just screenshots, there's videos, there's interviews, there's demos, there's just every little bit of information. And it kind of takes away a little bit of the excitement sometimes. Magazines are so much better. I'm actually surprised that magazines have lasted how they have, and they're still going strong. I don't know how they're doing it, because as you said, the price of them as well. Why would you pay, like, I don't know, I haven't even looked at magazines in a long time. Say £5 for a magazine. I think they're around about 4, aren't they? 4 or 5 quid, somewhere like that. Why would you pay that when you can just go online for free and just watch hours and hours and hours of footage and tons of interviews? There's actually no point in reading that magazine. You can argue that obviously, there is a tactile thing with reading, just like reading books. I don't agree with digital books, same as I don't agree with digital films and games, but there you go. It's just, there is a certain something about reading it, absolutely. But the problem is the information is that out of date, because they come out monthly, that it's kind of pointless and redundant, really. So I'm amazed they're still going. I mean, it's interesting you mentioned CBG. I actually read they're going under soon, so that's bloody tragic. I hope not. I really like CBG. I hope the YouTube channel will continue at least, because the YouTube channel is really good. Yeah, it's a bloody shame actually. But I do think realistically the magazines are going to go away. I mean, they can always go into the digital space on Kindle and iPad and all that kind of thing. But realistically, video is the future. It is the best way to feed the masses. I mean, that's what people like now. I don't know, but I'm assuming that most people don't read that much anyway, even online articles. I know myself, I've got into a stage now in my life where I tend to just click on the video and just can't be asked to read the article, which is really bad, because I should, because you get a lot more from reading a person's impression than you do just listening to them talk about it. Because if you listen to them talk about it, you can tend to get distracted by Twitter or something else and just be like having it on in the background, so you're not giving it full attention like you should be. Whereas if you're actually reading an article, you've actually got to concentrate. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I would say that magazines are doomed in the future. It's just a real shame. Next question. He asks, just get it right. He also asks, do you wish Channel 4 could revive Games Master? It would be good. The problem I've got, I think nowadays, if you revive like Games Master or Games World, or even Bad Influence for that matter, although Bad Influence would probably actually work a lot better, because I find that there's such a lack of gaming TV out there, And the past few years when they've tried to do it on Sky, I found it kind of patronising, and they tend to have like presenters, not gamers, and that never worked because they always seem to take the piss, like they don't take it seriously, and it comes across, they're like, I hate to say fake gamer, but they are. I mean, they always come across like they're just, you know, pandering to us and they're just not taking it seriously, and I hate that. I think if you're not going to be serious about it, don't do it, it's pointless. I think Bad Influence style would be a lot better, like a magazine show. But then again, you're fighting with the internet again, that's the problem. If you're doing it on YouTube and that, it's great, like CVG, the way they do theirs, because you're constantly banging out the updates, that's great. But in terms of like an actual challenge show, I think personally, I don't think it would work because it'd be more skewed towards the younger generations. And you're talking lots of competitive multiplayer, you'd be like FIFAs and CODs and Black Battlefields, and to me that would be quite boring to watch. I don't see the point in that. Or you can have like strategy games, you know, like the whole Korean thing, but it just doesn't do it for me at all. I wouldn't find that interesting TV. If they did mix it up and they had different styles like they used to do in Games Master and have proper challenges, that could be interesting. Yeah, it could work. You just have to find a decent format, and a good presenter is the hardest part, because a lot of the young presenters now are pretty shit in the UK, I find. Not impressed by a lot of them. They're just trying to be funny and they're just not. And they're just really quite talentless, and they'll just put anybody on. There was a guy on The Extra Factor, a young kid, I can't remember what his name was, who took over from Ollie Murs. God, he was terrible. He was so shit. So yeah. But no, you know, anything can work. I think anything's possible. You know, just take a bit of time, think about it, and don't just rush it. But yeah. I mean, I'd love to see it happen, definitely. Okay. So next question is from 16-bit Jay. All right, Jay. First question is, do you listen to video game music outside of playing? Not really, no. I don't. I'm not one of these people that has like CD soundtracks and all that kind of thing playing on the background. There have been times where I've been in the car and I've put some like NES or SNES music on my flash drive and done it that way. I've listened to tunes in the car. But I'm not like hardcore, you know, buy all the soundtracks and listen to all that all the time. But it just depends. But it's like modern games. It's more like film scores, isn't it? It's like your Halos and your Uncharted and that. They're a lot more orchestral and more mature. But I'd rather, if I want to listen to video game music, I want to listen to retro, you know, the classics. And yeah, it all depends on the mood as well. I'm not, you know, adverse to it. Why not? But generally, no, I don't. Well, I can't just answer a question like that, I don't know, but hey. Question number 2. If you can meet any famous people, living or dead, who would they be? President Kennedy for one. I think he'd be quite interesting. Probably Churchill as well, actually. Yeah, that'd be quite a fascinating conversation with him, I reckon. I'm trying to think who else is dead that'd be really interesting. Tupac, Biggie Smalls. I think Tupac especially would be absolutely fascinating to talk to. He's a little, you know, out there, but he's a really fascinating person, and you know that would have been really cool to resurrect him. Alive, Bill Clinton, definitely favourite president ever. So that would be awesome. I think he'd be really, really interesting, and also Jon Stewart and all, because I love the Daily Show. He's a funny guy. I would have said President Obama, but I'm not as hot on him as I used to be. Don't have a problem with any of his policies or anything. I'm just, yeah, not as, you know, hyped as I was in 2008. Other than that, probably David Cameron. Get an idea of what's going on in his head and what he sees the future of our country as being, as we've got the election next year. That'd be quite interesting to have a sit down with Dave and have a good old chat and see what he thinks. Yeah, that'd be cool. Next question. I know sports games aren't always popular, but do you have one that you felt you enjoyed playing? When it comes to sports games, I prefer like the arcadey sports like NBA Jam. I'm not really into like the FIFAs and the more simulated sports games. I mean, it's a shame because there's some really good ones, and at E3 they've been showing the new ones, and the new NHL looks really good. I like a bit of hockey, that's quite fun, because that, even though it can be simulated, it is kind of an arcadey sport in a way, so it can be a lot of fun doing that. I mean, I do like a bit of FIFA now and again. I'm just not like hardcore, you know, working my way through the leagues and things. And that's possibly because I'm not a big football fan in general. I don't really care for it. So, yeah. I'm trying to think of that. Yeah, games like Wii Sports, you know, just the simple, fun ones. I can't working out stats and making your way through leagues and, you know, powering up your players and all this kind of stuff. Not really my kind of thing, but I'm definitely not adverse to giving them a try, because I know sports games are quite maligned in the industry and everything, and people just go, oh yeah, but they must be doing alright because they're making a lot of money, and they wouldn't be coming out every year otherwise. And yeah, I did like playing what was that NBA game called? Is it 2K14? I think that's the one. I played the demo of that on Xbox One. Man, that game's awesome. That is really cool, and it's not hard to get into either. It's really quite simple. I'm sure like the intricacies and everything, when you learn all the different moves and the ins and outs of it, it's really cool. But just on a basic level of being able to like dribble, pass, and slam dunk, absolutely fantastic, and it looks so good. It's just unreal. So yeah, that's a really cool game. Right, okay. Next question is from. Is that car alarm? Is it by the sound of it? Right, okay, just bear with me. Right, so next question is from Muzz247365. Hello again, mate. Question number 1. Do you have game nights with friends? Not at the moment, no, I don't. Something I'd like to do, that'd be quite cool. Obviously I've spent time with Dave, Lawn Boys Post. He's come around a few times, so that's been really cool. But in general, no, I don't have like set schedules or anything like that. If anybody wants to come around, great. Work something out, but not generally, no. And the battery's about to die again, and this seems to happen every time I do a video. Quite frustrating. Sorry guys, won't be a minute, I'm just going to change that. Okay guys, sorry about that, we're back again. Okay, so next question from Muzz247365 is, do you have your collection insured? It's not something I've done at the moment, and to be quite honest with you, I didn't know until recently that we can do that in the UK. I know the Americans do it, but I wasn't sure we could do that, but apparently you can. So yeah, that is something I might look into in the future. To be quite honest with you, my collection ain't worth all that much. It's it's worth a few quid, but it ain't like a Retro Dave's collection or Ninja Bear Hugs collection where you've got a lot of money stored up. So I'm not that fussed at the moment, but obviously in the future you don't know how the market's going to be as well, whether the games are going to stay as they are, they're going to rise, or there's going to be a crash and the prices are just going to completely demolish and they're not worth anything at all. And it is just down to our own sentimental value. Who knows? But yeah, at the moment, no, I don't. Next question. Why don't you see more use of old IPs like Star Fox, Streets of Rage, Final Fight and Golden Axe? That's an interesting question, as they've just announced a new Star Fox, so that was quite cool. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's only right that all the old IPs start coming back. I think, there's definitely a lot that can be done with them. There is a new Streets of Rage type game coming out on the Mega Drive, which looks absolutely fantastic. Was it called Project X? I think that's the code name for it. I think that's what it was called. Have a Google. It looks absolutely fantastic. If it's real and it does come to fruition, then I'm definitely buying a copy of that, because it looks absolutely stunning. But in terms of like modern systems, yeah, I mean, I don't know why they don't actually, unless there's like licensing issues and that's why they can't. It could be, but it would be nice to see some of the old IPs come back now and try and modernise them. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I'd rather them do full games, but if they have to do digital ones, they have to do digital ones. It's just, I'm not a big fan of digital, as you know. Next question. Do you buy any video game magazines? No, not anymore. As I said previously, there's just no point anymore, unfortunately. The only magazines I actually buy are retro mags, so I buy like Super Play off eBay, because I'm trying to get a full set of those. But in terms of like current gen, no. Do you collect Blu-ray steelbooks? I did start to collect them, not anymore. I buy them if they come out and they look really good, then I'll buy them. But I was getting into a bit of a paranoid collecting mode where it was just buying steelbook for the sake of it because a film's got a steelbook. Whereas now it's just a case of I'll have a look at a film that has a steelbook that I want. If the steelbook looks good, I'll buy the steelbook version. If it doesn't, then I'll just buy the standard. Is it Amaray case? I think they're called. I'll just get the standard blue case one. So obviously Captain America 2's coming out later in the year. I've got the steelbook on order from Zavvi because I've already got the steelbook for Captain America, the First Avenger. So I wanted to get Winter Soldier as well to have the matching up, and it's just an awesome film as well. But other than that, yeah, I'm not just buying ones for the sake of it, because some of them they're just pretty lazy. They just put like a print on the front and that's it. They don't make much effort. I prefer the ones where it's actually really detailed and it looks nice. But yeah, steelbooks are absolutely fantastic anyway. Next question is, last question is, who wins in a fight between Mario and Sonic? Mario. Easy. Sonic's got the speed and the agility. Mario's got the staying power. Let's put it that way. As soon as he hit 3D, Sonic went tits up. So Plus, Mayo's got tons of friends to help him to back him up and all, and he just jump on top of Sonic and squash the little shit. So, yeah. Right, thanks for your questions, mate. Alright, next set of questions are from Josh, Mayo and Sonic 1986. Hello, Josh. Question number 1. Which conference impressed you the most at E3? Nintendo. I think that's pretty clear at this point. Absolutely fantastic. Totally nailed it. Knocked it out of the park. Blew me away. Did not expect it to be that good. So, yeah, everything about the presentation, never mind just the games that were announced, which look awesome, but the whole presentation, the way they came across was really funny, really clever. It was just a brilliantly put together piece of material. Yeah, and with the Treehouse streams as well, I think Nintendo absolutely nailed it. Question number 2. Which game makes you want to buy the game right now and blew your mind? Oh. I don't know, because I don't really buy a lot on launch, to be honest, with modern games. Even if I am absolutely like, I've got to have that, I like to wait till the price comes down, because 40 quid's a lot of money on one game. You know, I mean, it's not really when you look at all this stuff, but in terms of modern gaming, for some reason, I just find it difficult to do it, and I can't always do it anyway. I mean, you know, financially, if you've got like 2-3 games a month coming out, you just can't do that. So I'd have to wait. I mean, usually it would be something like Uncharted. They tend to be the games that I know it's a safe bet. If I pay 40 quid on launch, I'm not going to be disappointed, because that is another issue as well. If you pay 40 quid on launch for a game and it's not that great, and you're very disappointed with it, that's a real shame. But yeah, I'd say Uncharted, because I mean, technically I bought them on launch. Except for number 2, I think I got 1 and 3 on launch, and they did blow my mind. They were just awesome. Okay, was there any moments at E3 this year that you thought was cringeworthy? Microsoft, they always do it. They tend to make like little jokes and like looks to camera, and it always falls flat, and the audience don't respond, and it's always a bit awkward. And you're like, ooh. I mean, Sony aren't devoid of doing that either, because they definitely do. Nintendo are the only ones that seem to get the humour right, because they're just so out there, and they just throw something completely random at you, and you're like, what? You know, like when you've seen like Iwata before, and the camera's cut back to Iwata, and he's standing there with a banana looking at it, and then he just puts the banana down, you're like, what the hell was that? But, you know, or you get that really cool fight with Reggie and Iwata this year. It's just awesome. So, yeah. But, yeah, I would say probably Microsoft, because they try. I mean, Phil Spencer is a lot better. He's a lot more relaxed. But Microsoft still come across as that traditional Microsoft business, buttoned up, you know, suited and booted. Like, it just doesn't work. It's just, they're very corporate. That's the word I'm looking for. And they find it always seems to be like they're like trying to be slick and on message. They don't want to just relax and have fun with it. Phil Spencer is about the only one that actually does, I think. He's a really good choice, he was. Okay, next question. Did you buy any food and drink to snack on during E3? Hell yeah. Doritos, biscuits. What else did I buy? Yeah, mostly Doritos and biscuits was the big thing, because I love Doritos. Lethal bloody food, but pile on the weight because of them, but they are absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's just went and basically raided the aisle and got chocolate and random shit like that, and just stuff I shouldn't be eating, but I thought, why not? I've got to get through the night. And lots of coffee as well. That helps a lot when you're watching the Sony conference, because it's on so bleeding late, and you get into like 3 or 4 in the morning. It's like, I've got to have some black coffee. But next question: what are your thoughts on Nintendo doing a direct event instead of showing up at E3? To be honest with you, I've never been a fan of it. I've always preferred press conferences. I like the live interaction and the reaction. But this year, having seen what they did with their digital event and then following it up with 3 days of live streaming, I actually think, I was talking to 16-bit Britain, he said this first, and he was absolutely right. It's a better approach, because you basically get your digital event and they go, right, we've got this, and this, and you go, great, nice games. Now we're going to do like 40 hours of streaming or whatever ridiculous amount of hours it's been. And then all we're going to do is just going to demo the games, and that's it. We're going to demo the games, and we're going to give you a really good chunk of each game. And not only do they give you a good chunk of the game, but they keep coming back to the game later on to give you even more information, which is absolutely fantastic and a really nice approach. It would be good if Sony and Microsoft actually changed and did that. The only thing I think is, in terms of timing, it would be difficult, because you wouldn't be able to watch all 3 of them at the same time, obviously. Unless you've got like 3 screens with all 3 streams running, but that's a bit excessive. So it will be a case of picking your favourite and then watching the recorded versions later on. But yeah, I think that's a really good approach. I really like that. I also think the Nintendo Directs in general, they just seem to work really well. They're short and concise, they're funny, and there's no messing around. I just don't know, they just seem to be a really good way of doing things. I've always been a press guy. I've always preferred a press conference, but I'm starting to be turned around to the Nintendo way of thinking, I think, now. Right, okay, next question. Did you want to see an announcement for a game but it didn't happen? No. The only thing I was hoping for was Star Fox, and my wish was granted, so I'm extremely happy. I was hoping, I was on Star Fox and Uncharted 4. Obviously we knew Uncharted 4 was coming anyway, but because of all the shenanigans with Naughty Dog lately, I was hoping to hear something just to know it was okay and it was all good, and it is, which is brilliant. But yeah, in terms of games that had not been announced, Star Fox was definitely the one, and that was it for me. I was just happy then. I didn't care about anything else. I was like, it's coming, it's in development. I cannot wait. I just cannot wait. Miyamoto said it should be finished within a year, so we've got a long way to go yet, but it's going to be worth every minute, because if looking at the games they've been shown this week, the visual quality, and it's just unbelievable. When you look at Zelda, if they can get that kind of fidelity on a Star Fox game, Jesus, that would just be absolutely fantastic. Can you imagine the landscapes as you're flying by and the trees and everything, and it just looked gorgeous. Yeah, I'm really excited. I really want to see some more in the next few months. Hopefully we'll get some more information. They'll start bringing it in. When we get the first screenshots or video of it, that's going to be the best bit, just to get an idea of what we're in for. Proper excited for Star Fox U. That's going to be fantastic. Just puts a big smile on my face, and it's just Nintendo, man. They just know how to do it. My God, I thought I'd say that after the last, probably year and a half, but there you go. Okay, last question. Which announcement did you least expect? Actually, that's probably going to have to be Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Just for the pure funniness that I was talking to Josh who asked these questions, and Charlie as well, and just happened to say, oh, why don't they do a Toad game? Not actually ever expecting it to be a real thing. And then they just go and announce it, and I'm just sitting there going, what? I was like, holy shit, did not see that coming. Obviously, I've not played Mario 3D World as well, so I didn't know it was like an offshoot from that as well, from a mini game. That looks so good. I was watching more of that last night on the stream. It looks really, really good. It's so in depth. There's just the levels look small, but when they start walking around them, there's so much more in there, and there's so many little hidden parts. And Reggie said it's a full game as well. It's not a digital game, which is absolutely fantastic. So I'm excited to see how they're going to go with that, because it looks like a really, really fun game. So thank you, Josh. Okay, next one. Let's have a look. Right, next questions are from Shock16. Adam. Hello, Adam. Question number 1. If you was to make a big budget Streets of Rage movie, okay, who would you cast as the main characters, Axel, Adam and Blaze? Bloody hell, mate, that's hard. I think Adam, maybe Kevin Hart, because he's quite good. He's got a good sense of humour, and I think he'd be quite like the light comedic relief. Blaze and Axel. I'm trying to think of modern actors who would be any good as Axel. I'll probably have what's her face as Blaze. Oh Jesus Christ, my brain's gone blank. Hang on a minute. 1 second, I've just got to do a Google because I forgot what her bloody name is. That's really annoying. Apologies for this. Yeah, Axel's going to be the hardest one, I think. I'm not too sure who would get to play Axel, actually. Right, that's the one. Scarlett Johansson, that's who I was thinking of. She's got that new film coming out, Lucy, and she's playing a total badass. I think she'd be quite good as Blaze, actually. Yeah, so I'll go with her. In terms of Axel, bloody hell. You really stumped me there, Adam, to be honest with you. I'm not too sure, mate. I'm trying to think who I've watched recently that I thought was actually pretty decent. Because you've got someone who's physical as well, who can actually pull it off. I don't know. I'll have a think about that. 1 second. I'll do the other question and we'll come back to that because I'm still thinking. Well, I will as soon as my YouTube app decides to reload itself. Right, okay. Okay. Second question is, excluding Uncharted, is there any game from an older generation of consoles that you'd like to see get a sequel on the current gen consoles? Yes, you can pick from last gen. I just put older gen in case you wanted to go back even further. Oh, man, you don't have to put me on the spot with these bloody questions, mate. Yeah, actually, think about Axel, Channing Tatum. He's not the greatest actor in the world, but he's pretty good physically, so I reckon he could probably kick some ass. So yeah, we'll go Channing Tatum, Kevin Hart, Scarlett Johansson. God knows if that would work, but there you go. Previous games that need a sequel. Heavenly Sword would be one of them, because I really like that game a lot. I thought that was a really fun game. Other than that, it would have been Mirror's Edge, but obviously that's got a sequel coming, which is absolutely spectacular, because that game is fantastic. I'm really excited to see the sequel, because from what I've seen at E3 this week, and it's only brief, did look really good. Other than that, oh yeah, obviously Freedom Fighters. I think that's the one I want from like the Xbox, PlayStation 2 era, and GameCube. I absolutely love Freedom Fighters. It was just such a brilliant game at the time when it came out, and it was one of those water cooler games where I was going to work and my mate Jav, we were just chatting about it all the time. It was like, you know, oh, how far have you got? Where are you? Oh, this bit here and that bit there, and it's just really, really fun game. It's basically just a third-person action game, but it's just so well done. And you're fighting the Russians, and yeah, if no one's ever played Freedom Fighters out there, give it a shot because it's such a good game. The controls feel a bit off at the moment. Nowadays, they feel a bit clunky, but stick with it because the game is so good, and as it progresses, it gets really, really good. Yeah, so definitely, I've always wanted the Freedom Fighters 2. There was actually talk about it a few years back, and then I think it just got canned, which is a real shame because that definitely deserves a sequel. So there you go. So that is the last question for this week. So yeah, that's it. So thank you very much to everybody asking me a question. Thank you all for watching as well. And yeah, we'll be back next week with another one. So it'll be episode 6 next week. If you've got any questions you want to ask me for episode 6, stick them down in the comments and I'll answer those next week for you. If you like this video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see any more videos, just click on subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all again soon.